Hi, Rachel. Hi, everybody.
What
Yeah,
was it?
I know. I've got these well, they're not exactly transition lenses. They have, they're lines in these babies.
So
But
you,
I need like three different, you know.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's different levels. My kids make so much fun of me because I'm always like, "Hello," and then kind of yeah. The bifocal is tricky because if you're just reading, it's great, but if you need like I'm at a desk, so I need it like this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So these ones are
It is
total readers.
tricky. Yeah, I need like a quadrifocal or whatever.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
three different glasses, to be honest.
Yes. I in my purse I carry reader sunglasses, regular sunglasses, readers, and bifocals. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But welcome to What's for Dinner.
Yes, welcome to, yeah.
Yeah.
The beauty of aging. Yeah.
Yes.
Where we age gracefully.
Yes, and we
Yes, that's right.
embrace this time of life. I'm
That's right.
embracing it.
We're embracing the beauty of and wisdom of our ages. Oh,
Yes.
that's nice. That's good.
Wait,
Yes,
what?
but yes, Thursday already. Bam, bam. It
Mhm.
just I blink and it's Thursday again. So welcome, welcome. We've been talking a little bit about. We just started in a new series,
Yes.
and we're calling them. What are we calling this?
Health hacks.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Not to be confused with shortcuts.
No.
No, no. These are things that I have incorporated as part of my protocol, or you have incorporated as part of your
Yeah.
protocol. This has kind of become ingrained in us in our safety manual for our health, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, yeah, no, this isn't get rich quick or get
Mhm.
healthy quick.
No.
Yeah.
No. These are add-ons.
Mm.
These are not the foundation or the fundament. Well, some of the things we talk about might have to do with some fundamentals, but then
Mhm.
how you go about that, right? There's so
Right.
much nuance in the way that we go about things. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And last week you talked about looking at the food that you nourish your body with, making sure you take the sugar out of that food, put it over here in dessert. I feel like I'm from Toy Story in that little.
Yeah, with the doors.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to get the sugar out of what we're nourishing our body with because sugar really doesn't nourish the body. I'm talking about refined sugar.
Yeah.
Put it over here in dessert where it belongs, and then we get to determine how often our body can tolerate dessert.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said. We get to determine how often our body can tolerate dessert. There is so much freedom in that, but
Mm-hmm.
also nuance. It really
Yeah.
infers that there is a limit my body can tolerate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, do I know what that limitation is? Do I know at
Mm-hmm.
what point my body says, "Ooh, you keep doing that way, and I'm gonna fall into some dishealth. I'm gonna go the wrong
Mm-hmm.
direction."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
And
love
I
that.
think the reason that we can call it a hack is because we've kind of squished it into this little simple thing. Take the
Mhm,
sugar out of here, put it over here.
mhm.
And but there's so much depth and breadth, and we can get into the nitty-gritty of why that is important, and the
Yeah,
biochemistry of it, the physiology of it, the hormone of it. We can expand on that,
yeah,
but the hack is the condensing of it into this little thing that I can keep in my mind, and I
yeah.
don't have to. Oh, what's my insulin doing? What's my glucagon doing?
Mhm.
Where's my dopamine? No, I just had this short little thing. Is there sugar in the food I'm choosing to nourish my body with? No.
Right, exactly. And they become little mantras, little
Mhm,
quick, it's like brushing your teeth. They become habits that are so
mhm,
easy to follow, but
mhm.
you've done the work ahead of time to decide whether or not you want to add the hack. You've
Yeah.
just done the work to decide what the value is. You know a little bit
Mhm,
about, I think it's helpful for every person using a hack to understand a little bit about why
yeah,
it's valuable. We need to buy
right.
into it.
Yeah, buy into it. Yeah.
And then we make it simple and just kind of I tend to call these rules, though I hate
Mhm.
the word and the way that people think of rules.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's a rule of life. It's
Right.
the rules of my life, not
Right.
laws. I'm not in trouble if I break
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
There's nobody dictating them to me.
Mhm.
But it's a rule of thumb. Like when they say, "Well, what's the rule of thumb?" Right?
Right, right, right. And I think, Rachel, one way to it's the observation of what happens in the natural world
Yes.
rather than a judgment on it, right?
Ooh, I like that. Okay, say that again.
It's an observation of what happens
Mhm.
in my body in the natural world.
Yeah.
It's not a judgment on it. So I can have a rule because this is how my body works and functions.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not judging. I'm
Right.
just accepting the way it is,
Yeah.
right? And then saying that. So the rule then leads to freedom rather
Yes.
than, yeah.
Yes, that was the word I was thinking as you described that. I thought that gives me freedom. If I
Hmm.
know what the rules of my body, the care and keeping of this
Hmm.
spacesuit, right? If I
Yeah.
know the care and the keeping and the rules that are best if I follow, I do well with, then
Right.
it's everything else is outside of that and it's free.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it brings abundance. The rules
Hmm.
bring abundance.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
rules bring life. They're
Hmm. Yeah.
so maybe that's how we can like test something against it. Does
Yeah.
this rule that I'm trying to
Right.
get
Yeah.
bringing abundance and
Yeah.
life is
Yeah.
what are the results?
Right. There's poetry in the Bible called the Psalms, and I think it's poetry, but it's like David's journal. It's kind of journaling.
Mhm.
And he he says in one of them, he says, "The boundary lines have fallen to me in pleasant places."
Mm. So
Hmm.
he's saying he likes the boundaries. He
Hmm.
appreciates
Yeah.
and it feels pleasant. It feels good.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where ooh. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the way that we're made, you know, the way our body is designed to function best, is the rule.
Mhm.
And I want to learn about that and understand it. I'm not going to understand everything, and we're always learning more,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to have, and then if I have an understanding of it, then I can follow it, and that feels freeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the rules, or one of the, I'm going to call them hacks,
Yeah.
that that I follow, and I think you follow this too,
Mhm.
is if I buy something out of a package that has ingredients that's mostly carbohydrate. Okay. So I said three things there. I said package with ingredients mostly carb. I will ignore all the fancy, glitzy, grabby marketing here.
Mhm.
Okay. And I will go right to the nutrition fact,
Mhm.
which took a lot to get the government to put on here. That's the
Yes.
topic for another discussion. Sorry.
Yeah, once upon a time, those didn't exist.
No. Yeah, we had no idea. Now we
No.
know
Yeah.
better. We know better. We pay. We know in part.
They're not always 100% true, but again, this is another topic.
That's right. But anyway, and there's a lot of information here, and sometimes this
Mhm.
can be very confusing. But
Yeah.
the thing that I zero in here on is the total amount of carbohydrates in the serving size. That's
Mhm.
really important.
Yes.
And then the amount of fiber.
Mhm.
And I know that traditionally we think about net carbohydrates and subtracting the fiber, which is not absorbed as calories, from the carbohydrate load to get the true number of carbohydrates. That's not what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I want to know if there's enough fiber to slow down the breakdown and absorption of those carbohydrates, which eventually turn to glucose.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that there's enough fiber to slow the absorption of that into my bloodstream.
So I think so let's stop there for a minute because I think what somebody just heard is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you just talked about two different ways to look at total carbon fiber. So again, go back to the label, guys. And if you're listening to this, there's a line that says carbohydrates and it says total carbs. Then you're looking, there you go. And then you're looking at the next line that says dietary fiber. That's total dietary fiber. We're not talking right now about sugars or added sugars. We're just talking about total carb and dietary fiber. And what the first thing you mentioned was net carbs. And a lot of packaging will say net carbs is only this number or that number. And this may be good or bad or not. But that's not what we're talking about, because what you just described there is a ratio that tells you. Now, redefine what this ratio is teaching you or telling you about the food.
Right. It tells me that, so the bottom line is I want the energy that I'm eating to enter my bloodstream slowly. I don't want it to turn into sugar as soon as it touches my tongue, like when I eat a saltine cracker, by the way.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, it turns to sugar as soon as it touches my tongue. I don't want that to happen. I want there to be time for digestion and slow absorption into my bloodstream. And that will happen better the more fiber that accompanies the carbohydrate. And I'm going to say the more natural fiber that accompanies the carbohydrate. So I use a carb fiber ratio of 6-1, although I heard somebody else, another person very, very intelligent in this area, they go to 5-1. Yeah. But 6-1. And so that means I am dividing the total carbs by the total fiber. So if we divide 42 divided by 3, somebody do that math real quick. It's more than 6, Rachel.
1 is 12, 14. It's more than 6.
It's more than 6, right? So this doesn't pass my test. It doesn't. It's a lot of carbohydrate that's going to turn to sugar without the protection of fiber.
But Julie, I see that there's 7 grams of protein. It must be good for me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So because protein is important, we talk about that.
Yeah.
So would you say that the carb fiber ratio on this label, the results you're getting supersedes the protein that you see in it?
That's right. Yeah. The most important thing for me on this package, because it's really, I'm using it as my energy source, not my protein source. It might add to my protein, but it's not my protein source.
Great point.
So yeah, but because I'm using it as my some energy, not an essential element of protein, but it's just doesn't have enough fiber because that energy is going to go into my body a little too quickly.
Yeah. And so would you say, I know for me, once I learned this, once I understood what the carb fiber ratio is, what I want my body to be doing, and I want to talk more about that because I think that for people listening to understand the value of, well, why does it matter how fast sugar hits my bloodstream, right? We need to understand why that's important. Once I understood that package there that you held up lost all value to me. I was no longer willing to tolerate that food in my body, in my system, in my kitchen. And so eating a package, like we think about the spectrum of health, eating a package of pasta with some vegetables at home in a home cooked meal, to me, is better than eating McDonald's.
Sure.
Right? So that's a step. If someone's going from they eat out and eat fast food every day, this could be a great step in the right direction. Incredible step forward. And every step we take, we kind of level up, right? We do better than we used to do. And once we know this information, oftentimes we can't do it differently. So then my goal was, okay, well, if I want to have pasta, how do I find a healthier pasta? Is there a role for pasta in my life? And this became a new rule of health for me. That once I learned the hack, that package you held up, doesn't live in my house anymore. Used
Yeah.
to, but now it's become a rule that serves me really well. I love the boundary. I love the alternatives I've found, and it feels good to kind of level up in health choices based on the knowledge and the empowerment of that.
Right, right. So what choices did you find to level up?
Yeah. My first next step was whole wheat pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The whole wheat pasta came out and everybody felt like it tasted like cardboard, and it kind of did. But my thought was, well, it tastes like cardboard because there's fiber in it.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't taste like sugar. It doesn't melt in my mouth. Right. So again, I gotta tell myself what it is I'm eating. That was my first step. And then we probably ate whole wheat pasta for quite some time until the but eating it less frequently, yes, until the market started to come out with these new lentil-based pastas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's made from chickpeas. Yeah. And it has 4 ingredients in it. And the first one is chickpeas. And this is interesting. I'll put the carb fiber ratio up there. Can you see it? Closer. Okay, wait, let me put my finger on it. Can you see it?
I can't. No, it's blurry.
I think it says 35.
35 carbs, dietary fiber is 5.
5.
So
35 divided by 5 is 7. Closer.
Very close.
Closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very close. Yeah. And so, and just for grinsies, I mean, the amount of protein in there.
Is that 11? 11.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah. So we've lowered the carb fiber ratio, and we've upped the protein, and we've got some pretty good, like only 4 ingredients. You're looking at them. Are they pretty good?
Yeah. Well, chickpea, pea starch, tapioca. So this would probably be considered processed food. I mean, not probably. It is a processed food. It's not an added junk chemicals in it.
Right.
But yeah, there is some processing that it doesn't look like a chickpea. Right.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an upgrade from the pasta that turns to sugar in my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also less carbohydrate. So this serving size, and let's see, they're both 2 ounces. So the same serving size is less carbohydrate, more fiber, and more protein. Yeah. But coming back to the carb fiber ratio, it's 35 to 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7. That's closer to 6.
Closer. Yeah.
So the way I would incorporate this is maybe just have a smaller serving size and make sure I had plenty of other vegetable fiber in my meal.
Right. Yeah. And the serving size, I think, is really important. I want to touch on this. This is another way that I helped make this decision for this rule of health for me when it comes to things called pasta, right? When we talk about like the world of pasta, when I look at 2 ounces, I measure it out, y'all. That's not very much. I am not a bird. I need more food in my belly than 2 ounces, y'all. If you go to Olive Garden, it's like
that ain't 2 ounce serving. That ain't a 2 ounce serving.
That ain't 12 ounces. I don't even know how many ounces that is. And then you can go back for more. How many ounces is it? You guys, specifically with pasta, it will rock your world if you measure out 2 ounces of pasta. And all of a sudden the light bulbs all went off in my mind. This isn't worth it. Like for me, now pasta's never been my favorite thing in the world. So for those of you who it's your favorite thing, you want to find a way to incorporate in your world. For me, I can do without pasta. I was like, I would rather eat something else with those calories and those carbohydrates. I'd rather eat a cookie with 35 grams of carbohydrates than some pasta for me, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel, 2 ounces, I can do so much better. So like you said, it can kind of become like a condiment. Like it's a kind of like a side thing. It's not the
Right.
main attraction on my plate anymore. It used to
No.
be. Yeah.
And if you just are in love, you've tried them all, everything like that, you could put the regular pasta
Mhm.
into your treat column, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's your choice
Okay.
of
Yeah.
exception treat for the day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a treat. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah. So, here's some other things that we often, go to is tortillas. People have like these wraps that have spinach and tomato, and they look, because they're green or red and they're not white, they look healthier. Well, if you turn, you know, gotta
Yeah.
look at the label and read the ingredients, and you'll find frequently that it's a lot of carb for very, 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 very little fiber. And
Mhm.
so when there's not enough fiber, all that carbohydrate turns to sugar and spikes your blood sugar, and that starts to damage the the blood vessel walls that your blood is traveling through. It can damage hemoglobin, it can damage your LDL particles, so
Mhm.
anyway, we don't want those spikes. So I found this one. This is and this has a there's 6 carbohydrates in here and 2 fibers.
Wow.
So the 6 divided by 2 is 3. Ooh,
Mhm.
I can do math today. I'm
Hey.
mathing. Yeah. And so what are the ingredients here? Water. There is corn, and then cactus flour, tapioca, and sea salt. So it's very, it's that as a very minimum. I know what all those things are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have these all the time, but if I have a tortilla, I have this one because it passes my carb fiber ratio.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to, revisit something you just said again about like the packaging. Being organic is good, but organic does not make a food healthy.
Right.
Being gluten-free can be nice. Yeah, non-GMO. These are good things, but it doesn't mean the food is healthy or good
That's right.
for you. And so, like you said, don't even look at the package. Don't read any of the things on the front. Don't read any of it. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Read the nutrition label. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so how about this? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, a lot of us like to put granola on our
Yeah.
plain yogurt and things like that. And again, we get sucked in by the pretty packaging and all the non-GMO, no gluten, no added sugar. So let's look at this carb, because traditionally granola can be very high in carbs and added sugar. So this one has 9 grams of carbohydrate per 1/3 cup serving, which is a nice, reasonable, good serving. That's going to give me a little crunch with my yogurt.
Definitely.
And 4 grams of fiber. 9 divided by 4, 2 1/4. Woo! Yeah, passes my test.
Yeah. And what I love about this is granola can replace the sweetness that people normally depend on from flavored yogurts.
Right.
Right? We can do a plain high protein Greek, yogurt with nothing in it but yogurt, and then sprinkle a little of this on there to get a little bit of that sweet. And that seems to be a nice swap for some of those sugar sweetened yogurts.
Right. Yeah. This has almonds, coconut, sunflower seeds, dates, pecans, pumpkin seed, flaxseed, chia, strawberry, banana, vanilla. So, yeah. So not a lot of all of those, especially those last ingredients, but enough just a little bit of sweetness without added sugar.
Yeah.
So.
And like you said, that the not added sugar tells me they didn't, when we talked about earlier, is there sugar in my meal? There's no sugar in this. There's natural sugars from dates and from the other, whatever they put in there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they didn't add sugar, and that's important because I want the sugar as much as possible to be in dessert, like we talked about last week.
Exactly. Yeah. So good. Yeah. So I taught my son this when he was in high school, and it was so funny, Rachel, because we'd go to the grocery store. He kind of enjoyed going with me, or we'd have to run to the grocery store after a baseball practice or something like that,
Yeah.
and he'd come anyway, and I would throw something in the cart, and he would immediately pick it up and check it out and do the math, and he's like, Mom, what's this doing in our cart? Doesn't pass the carb fiber ratio. If you're gonna buy this, I'm gonna go get some ramen noodles.
Be careful what you teach your kids. The moral of this story, be careful how smart you make your children, because they will hold you accountable. Yeah. Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. My son, okay, I'll tell you a son story. This is the opposite. You had a better effect than I did. My son comes home last night and he makes dinner, and he's making ground beef and quinoa. He asked me how to make quinoa. And I said, what veggie are you having? I'm not. I said, I'm sorry. What?
Record scratch.
What? How it? Where's the vegetable in your meal? And he goes. He comes over. He goes, Mom, we have to have a talk. And he says, you raised me with so many vegetables against my will, and I am taking a break. I said, have you had any vegetables today? He said, no, Mother, and I'm not afraid to say it. And he said, I know. He said, now that I am a grown human who can decide for myself, he said, I will tell you I had vegetables yesterday, but I'm not going to have them today. He said, one day I will revisit daily vegetables, but for now, it was so funny. And I was like, well, I'm not sure if I helped or harmed him in the way that I raised him, but there it is.
Train up a child, Rachel.
One day.
In the end, he will not depart from it.
Yeah. Right. One day when he can't go to the bathroom and he's having bowel issues, he'll come back to vegetables.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. What vegetables are you having for dinner tonight?
Ooh, I'm having so many. I made one of my favorite recipes. It's called 3-bean chili alarm. It's got probably 25 ingredients in it, like 3 different kinds of beans, 5 or 6 different veggies. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. It's really high protein. It's very savory, but it's flavored a little differently than your standard chili. So it doesn't taste real chili, like it almost tastes a little bit more minestrone or something. So yeah, that's dinner and it was dinner last night. That's dinner tonight. How about you?
I'm eating out of the garden, and when I say garden, it's not just my garden, it's other people,
friends.
Yes, some tomatoes here. So I'm gonna make ratatouille. Yeah.
Oh, I love I forgot about that. That's such a
one of my favorite summer. Yeah, it's one of my favorite summer. So
when the garden is aplenty, that is the So good.
It may not be so pretty, because sometimes I'd spend all the time and I just put the vegetable, the zucchini, the squash, the onion, the eggplant. Yeah, you just stack them together, and but I might just kind of throw it in there.
Nice, love it. Yeah, it'll be pretty either way.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my friend, we'll pick up where we left off next week, but this is a good discussion, and sometimes it takes you got to practice it, so it takes a little while, but eventually it'll sink in, and it's a good one.
I love it. Yeah, all right. Good conversation. All right, thanks. We'll see you next week, you guys.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Stay